I'm Gianluca. Finally, glad to meet you all in person. Yeah, I'm one of the Android software engineers in Compare the Market, a company that was launched in 2006 for a mission to make great financial decisions easy for everyone. But also we are famous for the meerkats. I'm passionate about open source, where I'm one of the core maintainers of Danger Kotlin. So I hope today we can show you something new. So here you can find my contacts. I have a Twitter, a GitHub here, but you can easily find me in the Kotlin and Android study group Slacks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Franco Meloni, Senior iOS at American Express. I'm also really passionate about open source. I maintain Danger Swift and Danger Kotlin. Standards today are everywhere. Bigger is your team, more you would like to have standards. You want to keep your code clean, you want to keep your code maintainable, you want your code to be familiar to your colleague. And, but bigger is your team, harder is actually to keep those standards. Usually, you define your standards in documentation, you define them in issues. Sometimes you agree them on Slack, sometimes you agree them in a call. And so, how can you actually enforce those standards so that they are actually used in the code? Usually, that happens in pull request. So you see something wrong, you flag it, and you ask the author to correct it. But that requires all the reviewers to know all the standards. It requires that they actually search for the standards in each pull request. And it also requires that they actually find all the places where the standard is misused. So sometimes it might happen that something against your standard actually gets merged. To make an example, let's say that the designers arrive to a meeting and say, OK, from now on, we have a new error view. This new error view has a retry button. So differently to the one you had before, you now have to define case by case what happens when you actually press the retry button. So you cannot just migrate all the views to the new error view. You need a strategy to do the migration. A strategy might be, OK, we rename the old error view as legacy error view, and we create a new one. But during the migration, we need to be sure that no one actually uses the old one, and otherwise we have new instances to migrate. It would be nice to be able to automate this so that we don't have in every pull request to actually go there and say, did they actually use the legacy error view? A solution to this problem is Danger. Danger is a customizable open source tool which runs as part of your build. It's like a new logical step in the build. And it allows you to define all that checks that you usually do manually and automate them. As said, it's an open source project. It's used from many other open source projects like React Native, React.js, SwiftLint, etc. And it's available in different languages: JavaScript, Swift, Python, Rust, Ruby, of course, Kotlin. One very important thing about Danger is that one of the main goals of the tool is to keep the feedback loop really short, so that when you open the PR, you immediately know if something is wrong. You can actually fix it before the actual human reviewer arrives. So you can divide your checks in order to give the feedback as soon as possible. So for example, when the code is pushed, you can immediately check stuff like branch name, PR size, anything about the added or removed files. But then after the build, you can actually do more checks. And for example, check how your test went, if there is a build error, fail if there are warnings in the build, etc.
Everyone loves sandwich, right? So I love to call Danger Kotlin a Kotlin sandwich. And as you can see from this picture, in the middle there is a Kotlin, and then we have the bread. Well, the bread is the Danger.js, Danger JavaScript. Why is like that? So basically, all the communication between your GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket is handled by Danger.js that pulls all the information about all the pull requests and pass that to Danger Kotlin in the middle. then an output, a list of stuff, is produced back and passed back to Danger.js that, again, is responsible to publish back everything to GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. We can have a look to opening the sandwich, how all this machine works. So we have a Danger Kotlin binary that is the first that is invoked in your pull request. So when you open a pull request, you have your pipeline, and the Danger Kotlin binary is triggered. The Danger Kotlin binary trigger itself Danger JavaScript that pulls all the pull request data from GitLab, GitHub, or Bitbucket in a JSON descriptor, basically. So this JSON descriptor is going all the way back to our binary. And then what happened here is the binary, it passes this JSON to our Danger file. The Danger file is where everything happens. So we parse this descriptor using our Danger Kotlin library, so converting the descriptor in objects, in Kotlin objects that we can actually use in our Danger file. And with that, we could use all the pull request data to write down everything in your mind to make some funny messages and annoy who opens the PR. But yeah, so we process that, and we produce an array of messages, warnings, failures, or suggestions that you want to publish back on your PR. And you can see here we have another block in this schema that is the plugins. We will be explaining that a bit more in detail later. And yeah, so that's all. One thing that I would like to mention on this at this point is that the Danger Kotlin binary was developed using Kotlin native. That is one of the most recent technologies provided by JetBrains. And the Danger file itself is a special Kotlin script, specifically designed for Danger. And yeah, closing the sandwich, the Danger Kotlin binary after gets all your messages, warning, and failures or suggestions, gives all this bunch of stuff to Danger.js that is going to publish it back to your pull request. And finally, here is where the magic happens. So the Danger file is the place where you can define your own rule, and is in Kotlin. You can see here you have a top section where you can define a Maven repository and define that depends on all your dependencies that you would like to have. So you can import anything, any library you like, any library that can make your life easier. And you can see there is a import section, register plugin, so you can register the plugins here. We will be going there later. And yeah, our Danger args block, that is where you can write your own and custom and beautiful rules.
So Danger is a tool that is built to adapt to the team that uses it. So it works for an open source project and works for big enterprise companies. And this is because it doesn't have like a silver bullet, something that fixes all your issues. But instead, it offers you a framework which make easy to make checks. So you can actually write all the checks you need that are specific to your team. Now we will go through few examples just to show what you can do with Danger. First of all, going back to the first example, the one of the error view. Here you can see a soft way of doing it. So we will try to flag only the time where a new instance of the legacy error view is used, without flagging stuff like when the code is reindented or when you move the code. And we will do that by launching a Git diff and looking in the diff if the number of times we actually added legacy error view is more than the times we removed it. In that case, Danger will fail the build and request to actually migrate to the error view. But there is also another approach. So this is a little bit more restrictive. It requires everyone that touches a file that actually contains the legacy error view to migrate it. So it goes through the created and modified files, in every Kotlin or XML file, it actually checks what's the legacy error view used, and in that case, he adds a comment in that line saying to use the error view instead. According to the best practice for pull requests, you usually want small PRs. We try to estimate what a small PR is, and so we estimate it as when the addition minus the deletion is less than 300 lines. So if it's more, we actually add a warning, and we ask the author to keep the PR smaller, maybe split it, so that it's easier to review. But an important check we all want to do now that we are migrating from Java to Kotlin is forbid everyone to actually add new Java code to the code base. And so with Danger, we can go through all the created files and check if actually one Java file was created, and in that case, add a comment to the first line of that file saying, please convert it to Kotlin instead. Finally, let's assume that our release branch is a little bit particular. So every PR there needs to be reviewed by a tech lead or someone in particular. So in that case, Danger can help you in different ways. The first one is the one in the slide, and so you can say if the branch starts with release, then just add a comment where you say that those people should actually review the PR. And so they get tagged, so they receive an email and they can actually review it. But if you have a webhook, any kind of webhook that actually is executed when a review is submitted, you can actually make this check a lot more useful and restrictive. So you can say if the person actually approved the PR, then it passes. Otherwise, a failure. In that way, only when the PR receives all the required approvals, it can actually be merged. So you can actually check if at least one of the tech leads actually approved it. There are plenty of other examples we can make, but one important thing to mention is that usually automation brings more automation. So if you start even with simple rules, your team will start seeing the patterns of things they actually always check, and they will start seeing, okay, maybe we can automate this. And at the end, that will save a lot of review time for all the team, but also will improve the code quality. And so let's see how we can actually install and set up Danger. The easiest way is for sure with GitHub Actions. Danger offers a pre-built Docker image, so you can just add a YAML like this to your repository, and that automatically will run Danger in every PR. But if you if you need to install Danger locally, or GitHub Action doesn't fit you, you can use Brew if you are on Mac, or if you don't want to use Brew or you are on Linux, you can use the script we have in our GitHub repo. Once you install the Danger Kotlin, running it is really simple. So if you are on CI, you just run Danger Kotlin CI. It will automatically recognize which CI it is and get all the information by that CI. And you can optionally add the Danger file path to the command. If you want to run it locally, though, you can use Danger Kotlin local, which will create the descriptor from the difference between your branch and the main branch, or you can get the description for an existing PR by using a Danger Kotlin PR.
And yeah, other version of Danger, for example, they require an additional command to edit the Danger file. And this is because the Danger file itself needs, as a dependency, his SDK, his own SDK, to be able to enable the autocomplete in your IDE. So they basically wrap your Danger file in another project, importing the dependencies, so you are able, by typing your Danger edit command, to spawn a new instance of your IDE with the Danger Kotlin inside, and then you are able to edit it. With Danger Kotlin is much easier. You can just define in IntelliJ or Android Studio, install Danger Kotlin in your local machine first, and link your Danger Kotlin jar in the Kotlin script section, your IDE. So like that, you don't need to have an edit command. You can have all the feature of the autocomplete inside your IDE without switching your project. So you have everything is under your eye, much easier. And yeah, we talked about plugin before. We go a bit more in detail now. Yeah, so we can extend Danger with the plugins. You can use already existing plugins uploaded on Maven Central, just using their dependency with the depends on annotation. And one thing you will have to do is to register your plugin. Register your plugin because this will basically give your plugin the capabilities to comment, fail, or warn directly your pull request. And yeah, after you use it. Danger Kotlin at the moment is still very young, so we don't have a lot of plugins available at the moment. So I think if there is one plugin, for example, I've made for Android lint to check the Android lint failures on PR. We have a few plugins for detect. We have a plugin for unit testing, so that publish the unit testing failures on PR. We have a plugin for Jira, for example. But if you want to contribute, probably is development of a new plugin is a good start. And how do we do that? It's easy. We can create a new Kotlin library project, importing as a dependency our Danger Kotlin SDK. At the moment, we are on the 1.2. And yeah, after that, we can create a new singleton class like this one, where we extend the Danger plugin. And then inside, in your custom checks, any check you would like to create, we can comment directly on your pull request using the Danger context. So that's why the reason why we're registering the plugin before. And yeah, so here is just everything up to you, up to what you want to do, your fantasy, and create your own plugins, your own rule that you can publish for everyone else. And yes, there is also a way to test your plugin directly on CI. And the steps are using the Danger plugin installer that comes together when you install Danger Kotlin in your local machine. Apply your plugin, and then basically the output jar produced from your plugin needs to be uploaded inside the Danger Kotlin repo, local repo. So Danger can see that, and you can use the jar directly rather than downloading the dependency from Maven. Otherwise, it becomes complicated to test every time because you need to upload the plugin on Maven, and you are uploading also something that is not stable, so it's not cool. It's much better you can test that every time to make sure that everything is working properly. And after, when everything is stable, you can publish your plugin on Maven Central. And yeah, here, as we mentioned already before, you can use your plugin directly with the depends on annotation. Danger Kotlin sample plugin jar, so you can use your plugin and make it available for everyone. And okay, so this is a personal list of plugins that I personally would like to have, just to give you some ideas in what you can implement if you wish. I would like to have a direct integration inside the Danger Kotlin with the GitLab API, so be able to add and remove label when you need, or integration with the Firebase test lab would be quite cool. If you don't like messy Git logs, maybe you want to enforce the Angular commit pattern whilst you are committing in your Git repo. You could enforce that with a Danger plugin, so why not create one? And yeah, test coverage, publish on PR, more detailed information about test coverage could be useful. Or imagine a scenario where you want to show directly on pull request when a screenshot test fails. So rather than going to dig in your build log and see which one of the tests is failing, and go there and go to open the external tool and see which one is the screenshot and check the diff, you could directly publish the diff on pull request, so you know exactly what is failing and saving a lot of time. And so, yeah, good news with Danger Kotlin, we have compatibility with the coroutines as well. So this is an example of a check that runs with the coroutines. We have an expensive check. This is a delay, so just a simple one. But it could be a network call, could be an high computation task. Something could be also the example that Franco explained before, whilst we are doing a git diff. If the git diff take time, maybe it's something we can run in a coroutine instead. So we can execute, in my case, I just basically execute my coroutine or multiple coroutine you can execute in the run blocking block, and then execute every single check in a sync. So you will see in this case, if you have some checks that take some time, you can keep the feedback loop short, as we said before, and coming back to the pull request author as soon as we can. And yeah, in this case, the danger script will end at 5 seconds, so we'll take only the time of the most expensive of the checks. And this can be quite useful. However, using coroutine is recommended only really for time-consuming tasks, like, for example, the network request or a high computation or checks that requires external tool to come back to danger. And so if you run a simple check, like, for example, just looping in a list of 10 or 20 or even 100 of modified files, is still very, very quick. And if you take this and you put inside in a coroutine, the overhead, so the benefits that you will get is basically nothing. So I would recommend to use coroutines only for tasks that really needs to run on a coroutine.
So before going to the final slide, we wanted to leave you with some advices, something we've learned with our use of Danger. First of all, while a warning can be legitimate, you probably would like to write your checks in a way that is actually a yes or a no. It's always clear if it's a failure or it's not, and if the conditions are met. This is because if you use a warning, that doesn't stop the PR from being merged. And it always requires an additional check from the author or the reviewers to actually define if that warning needs or not to be implemented, if that is a case where we need to make a change or not. And this additional human intervention, it actually reduces the benefits of having a check, because there is always the need of someone that has to review the PR and cannot be automatic. Also, CI time is really precious. We said it, like feedback loop is really important. So every time you make a check, you want to only check what is changed, not everything on the repo. And Danger, in order to allow to do that, it offers an array of added, modified, and deleted files. So you can use that one to refine and speed up your checks. The third one is kind of self-explicative. You should never trust a check you haven't never seen failing. You should at least seeing it fail once, so that you can see it's working, first of all, and then you can see the message, if it looks exactly as you want it, if the markdown is okay, and in case of an inline message, you also want to verify that it's actually posting in the right line. Finally, getting a tool telling you that you cannot merge your PR is something that might be frustrating. So every time you actually add a failure, you should also try to add a message that says how to fix that failure. So let's say, for example, we are failing the build because the code was not formatted. We shouldn't just say you should format the code, but we should also add the command that can format the code, so that the author of the PR can immediately run that command and have danger passing.
And finally, what we do with danger at Compare the Market? Well, We do dozens of checks for each pull request in our Android team. Same happens for our iOS team. We do checks on, for example, branch naming strategy. We have our own branch naming strategy. If you try to open a pull request with the wrong branch name, a Danger will fail. Also, yeah, we request reviews from a person on your same team, so it's much quicker to get someone into your PR and to have a look as soon as possible. Also, we do checks for linting. We check the pull request size as well, so if the PR is really big, then we ask to kindly split into multiple PRs. All the Java files are banned, and you are not allowed to use JUnit 4 anymore because we are migrating to JUnit 5. So every time someone by mistake imports the wrong annotation, so the annotation of the JUnit 4, Danger will fail, and we will ask to using the correct import. So everything looks tidy. We also do not allow to using Android context in where it's not allowed. So like a presenter, view models, is much better not add Android as a dependency. But we do also other checks.
On American Express, we do have Danger as well, both Kotlin and Swift. Some of the interesting checks we do, we, for example, check if you're actually using our semantic colors and not just the system colors. Every time a suppress is added, we also request to add a comment to say why that is being made. If a PR is not auto-generated, we request where possible to add a Jira ticket as well. And finally, where is appropriate, we suggest to use our custom version of the on-click listener, which has debounce as well, instead of just using the system one. We just released the version 1.00 of Danger Kotlin, which has a better handling of plugins, but also uses Kotlin X serialization and Kotlin X datetime. If you want more information, you can come to the Danger website. And finally, we wanted to thank all the contributors who helped us to make Danger what it is now. If you want to contribute, please come to our GitHub.
Yeah, and that's all. So I hope you had a great time learning something new. I would like to thank you, everyone. It was great to see you all in person finally. And yeah, here you can find a link if you want to know more about some compare the market current and future opportunity. You can also come outside to meet us at our stand.
You can also find all the Amex details there, the social, etc. And we are hiring, so if you're interested, you can come on the link above. Now we can proceed with the questions. Thank you. Please come. You can come to the microphone, please.
So yeah, you mentioned that it had got linting capabilities, but I think earlier in the slides you mentioned SwiftLint and maybe some other tools. Does it work in conjunction with those, or is it kind of like a replacement? If it does work in conjunction, can it be used to sort of package up, like let's say SwiftLint results that get then decorated on the PR?
Yeah, so exactly like that. It works. There is also Danger sometimes, like there is a Danger image which we ship every time, which has a Swift lint already inside, because almost everyone in Swift wants to use Swift lint. In general, Danger, as I was saying, is like really extensible. So there are a lot of plugins we can use a lot of things like Android lint, for example, etc. So Danger takes the output of the tool, whatever tool like Android lint or Swift lint, and posts this comment in the right line in your PR saying you should fix this, and it also updates the status based on the rules you put. So for example, if you have warnings, you can set if you want that every warning is a failure, so Danger fails also if you have one warning, or you can say fail, and same for Android lint.
Okay, and then just one final question, sorry. Yeah, so you mentioned Bitbucket, so for those of us unfortunate enough to be stuck with Bitbucket, How does that integration look? Because there isn't this concept of conversations that you can close, but there are tasks. So is that what you're using there?
So Danger posts on there is also a difference between Bitbucket Cloud and Bitbucket Server, but like the generic answer can be Danger updates the status of the PR like CI. It does. It's like an additional CI at the end for Bitbucket, which can pass or fail, and adds comments, normal comments. So either it doesn't have inline comments in Bitbucket, so it's always it posts a big comment which has all the files, like says this file has this issue in this line, this file has this issue in this line, etc. And to set it up, you just need to export two variables, or three if it's a private server. So you have to put the server URL if needed, and then a username and a token, which will be basically the user that will be used to post the comments.
Okay, so it doesn't use tasks, because
you've
got to action tasks before you can merge, right? That's kind of the
so
difference, I guess.
technically, you can launch, you can use the GitHub API to launch a task, but by default it doesn't.
All right, cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, and another thing I would like to add is from the previous question is that Danger Kotlin have the plugins. So in Danger Swift, for example, Swift lint is coming together with the Danger Swift itself. So you could use the Danger, you can use the Swift lint directly without importing it. In Danger Kotlin, there is a plugin structure where you actually will need a plugin. And we could have a lot of authors that can write different plugins for Android lint or for other linting tools like Detect or KTLint, for example. Or if you don't like any of those, you can create your own. So you can import that and then just use it.
Hello, thanks for the great talk. Got a question about, so you're uploading loads of comments to a PR to say, you should consider doing this, this is wrong. There's a task, or the build fails, for example, when Danger says, you need to fix this stuff. So the author goes and makes those changes and pushes those changes. What happens to all the comments on the PR which still exist from the previous Danger run?
Great question. So Danger, I said Danger can have different runs. So it can run at the beginning and also like at the end. So every run has an ID. The ID is added as a comment, so you don't see it in each one of the comment Danger makes, because it can make two comments, which is like a two big summary. So you can say post in each line, right? So those might be 100 comments, right? So it can recognize only the comment of that single run. And those comments, they get deleted as soon as you fix the issue.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.